Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Danielle, aka Stitcherista here on YouTube, and today is going to be another diamond paint with me while I continue working on Treasure Studios art Cherry Blossom by Lizzie Falcon. It will be a true crime story time, but we are going to chat for a little bit first. I did work on this more after I stopped the video yesterday, so I got quite a bit done. This will be done today because so yesterday worked, and I worked kind of late. I worked until 7. The job didn't start until 1, but yeah, I worked until 7. And our job had confirmed for today at like 3:15, and then at 5 o'clock it canceled. And I was like, what the hell? But I'm not complaining. I will take off having on a Friday, right? My check is still good for even having those like 2 days off. Yeah, not a big deal. So I have off today. We had dinner really late. Bill waited for me. I didn't think he was going to because I didn't know when I was going to be done. And we had chicken wings. They were good. We had chicken wings, and I had some grapes with mine. And yeah, so today we're gonna go to Mission Barbecue for dinner. We'll bring it back though. We never sit in there and eat anymore. We always bring it back. But I always get their chopped brisket. It's so good. So we will do that. And I actually I had ordered a diamond painting kit from Craftably. Finally trying them out, so that's coming. I mean, it was here. It got here yesterday, so I'm going to do that unboxing today. And I worked more on my cross-stitch piece last night. I finished the word coffee. Oh my God, I don't know what's happening with the American Horror Story spinoff. The 4th episode dropped, and I watched it, and I fucking hated it. I like the concept of it. I like the beginning of it. But by the end, I was like, what did I just watch? And then I watched some more floss tube, bought some more patterns. Gotta fucking stop. Gotta stop. I've bought so much. But I see you guys stitching this stuff, and I'm like, I gotta have it. Yeah. And I also bought myself a new pair of readers that are like rhinestone, cat eye rhinestone. Can't wait to see how they look. I'm like, I need some new readers that are like glittery. Yeah. And we are getting recessed lighting put in our kitchen next Saturday. And I already told Bill yesterday, I said, I'm going to be out of the house while that's happening. I don't like to see the mess. I like to come home and everything's all done and nice and neat. So I'm probably going to go check my P.O. box, go to Starbucks. I'll bring my book. Might even go to the stitching post. Do some shopping. Maybe I'll go visit my mom. You know, yeah, I need to be out of the house. So I don't know how long any of that takes, but I will be prepared to be out of the house. Now, already, it's only a week away. I get my hair done next Friday. Please let the appointment happen. Like, it has been almost 2 months now since I've scheduled the initial appointment. Yeah. So I pray the appointment stays. We'll see. But yeah. Okay. It is so hot here. And you know what's so funny? When I was talking to Bill this morning on the phone, we have a birthday party to go to in 2 weeks, and I was like, yeah, I just bought the present. And what is that symbol? 3743. And I said, you know, we're flying through summer, and he's like, yeah, summer can be over for right now. And I said, but you love summer. Oh, I hear you bitch all the time. It's too hot. Yeah, he's like, no, it's too hot. I'm like, oh my God. He's like, I like it when it's like 80 degrees and no humidity. Well, yeah, doesn't everyone? I am a lover of 65 being able to wear a sweater and jeans, or even 70. I don't even mind the cold. I don't mind when it's really cold in the winter. I don't like 8 feet of snow, but yeah. So yeah, we are hurtling through summer for sure. And I'm okay with that. But, you know, here in Maryland, it stays hot through October. Like when we go to Ocean City for in the beginning of September, it'll still be hot. And I need to actually, in the next week or so, I probably need to get a new bathing suit. we do go on the beach, and we're actually going to be there for 4 full days because I was able to get like the night before we leave. So we usually ride bikes in the morning, go to the beach, stay on the beach, and then, you know, get dinner, walk around, sit on the boardwalk and watch people, you know, that kind of thing. We're actually going to have dinner with Lacey one of those nights. I had messaged her and said, hey, we're going to be there such and such, and she's there all summer at her condo. So it'll be good to see her. I haven't seen her in, it'll be a year. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that trip. I feel like it's been a long time since we've gone. And is that a hair? It is. There's a hair on here. Can I get it up? I probably need tweezers. Oh, wait a minute. I need to be able to grab it. I do have a pair of tweezers here somewhere. I don't know where. Maybe I can get it up with this. Gotta be careful to not like peel the adhesive away. Oh, I raised it a little bit. That's the thing about having long hair, man. I like shed everywhere. I think I have it. Wow, that was a long hair. I got it. I got most of it. It was underneath those diamonds. Yay, okay. But yeah, no real plans for the weekend, which I'm perfectly okay with that. I'm going to do our grocery order today. When I'm off on Friday, I'll do the grocery order a day in advance just to get it in there. What's nice about Instacart is you can add stuff up until they start shopping. So, but yeah. Okay. Oh, I think I have found a new book to read. I have barely started it though, so I don't want to say anything yet. But we'll see. I'm definitely going to read today when I'm done this and I have something to eat. Okay. Today's story. Really, Diamond? Where did it go? That was weird. Today's story is Stacy Castor. So it started with a 911 call to the police in Liverpool, New York on the afternoon of August 22nd, 2005. The caller was a 38-year-old woman named Stacy Castor, who reported that her husband David had locked himself in the bedroom of their home after an argument the previous day. Okay. After knocking at the door that morning and getting no response, Stacy had left for work. Throughout the day, she had made several calls to her husband's cell phone. All of those calls had gone unanswered. Stacy was concerned, she said, because David had recently been depressed and had been drinking heavily. She feared he might have done something to harm himself. Okay. Dispatched to the residence to perform a welfare check, Sergeant Robert Willoughby arrived to find Stacy standing on the front porch smoking a cigarette. They entered the home together, and Sergeant Willoughby then tried calling out to David. Getting no response, he decided to force the door. What waited inside was Stacy's worst nightmare. Her husband lay sprawled naked across the bed, and he wasn't breathing. The sergeant then radioed for paramedics, but it was too late. David was already dead. The method by which David had died seemed apparent from the scene. There were a couple of glasses on the bedside table, one containing brandy, the other half filled with a neon green liquid which turned out to be antifreeze. The fuck? A plastic antifreeze bottle lay on the floor, now empty. Vomit on the floor and on the bedclothes suggested that David had consumed the toxic fluid, and given his wife's comments about his depressive state, it seemed that he had taken his own life. But sus, I'm sure. But as detectives from the county sheriff's department started examining the scene, they began to wonder if that was really the case. Some of the evidence they found appeared to contradict the suicide theory. For starters, there was the antifreeze bottle found lying on the floor in a pool of dried vomit. Yet there was no vomit on the bottle itself. It was almost as though it had been placed there after the fact. Then, while searching the house, officers found a turkey baster discarded in the trash, and it contained traces of the same neon green liquid, and tests would later prove that David's DNA was present on the tip of it. So if David had been locked up in his room as his wife insisted, how had the turkey baster ended up here? It didn't make sense. First off, if you're going to do something like that, you fucking throw that away outside of your house, you big dummy. In order to get to the bottom of these inconsistencies, detectives asked Stacy and her daughters, 18-year-old Ashley and 14-year-old Bree, to come down to the station to answer some questions. Stacy's responses did nothing to allay the growing suspicions of investigators. Recounting her movements over the previous few days, she included myriad mundane details like where she had stopped to buy cigarettes and what takeout she had ordered. Okay. To detectives, this was a red flag. In their experience, individuals who had just gone through a traumatic event were under too much stress to recall such trivial details. Their attention was usually turned inward on their overwhelming grief. And the motive that Stacy proposed for David's suicide also appeared off. She claimed that he had been depressed since the death of his father a couple of months earlier. Over the last few days, she said the two of them had clashed several times over David's plans for a second honeymoon. Stacy hadn't wanted to go, and that had apparently upset David, but enough for him to take his own life? This was a successful businessman with no history of psychiatric problems, so it just didn't add up. While investigators continued to ponder these questions, the results of the autopsy were in. They revealed that David had died of ethylene glycol poisoning as a result of consuming antifreeze. The report also suggested that the poison might have been self-administered, but still detectives weren't satisfied with that. They brought Stacy in for another round of questioning, and this time asked her outright whether she had poisoned her husband. And her response was an emphatic no. She then offered an explanation as to where David might have got the idea of using antifreeze, saying they had recently watched a true crime program about Lynn Turner, a woman from Georgia who had murdered both her husband and lover with the substance. One thing struck detectives as unusual, though, about this interview. Throughout the conversation, Stacy kept referring to antifree rather than antifreeze. And this seemingly trivial detail would later prove significant. Okay, I don't know how that's going to prove significant, but we'll find out. But now, however, the police had nothing to back up their suspicions, so Stacy was free to go, although she remained the prime suspect in his death. So nothing the police uncovered over the next 2 years would discourage them that Stacy had something to do with it. So 2 years? They learned, for example, that David was not Stacy's first husband, nor the first to die under suspicious circumstances. Jesus, well, that seems to be a recurring theme here lately. She had previously been married to a man named Michael Wallace, her high school sweetheart, who she had wed in 1985 when she was just 17. The couple had 2 children, Ashley and Bree, but gradually began drifting apart due to their conflicting work schedules. Stacy was employed at the time as an ambulance dispatcher while Mike worked the night shift as a mechanic. Yeah. Mike was also very close to his younger daughter, Bree, something that Stacy apparently resented. And it was rumored at the time that both she and Mike were both having affairs. What? My God. Then, in late 1999, Mike developed a mystery ailment that left him unsteady on his feet and afflicted with flu-like symptoms. He also appeared bloated and was in such obvious discomfort that his family encouraged him to see a doctor. Mike assured them that he'd do so after the holidays, but he never got the chance. In early 2000, Mike died with his death ruled a heart attack. So Mike's family then requested an autopsy, but Stacy refused, saying that she concurred with the doctor's diagnosis and saw no reason to prolong the grief of her children. Instead, she cashed in a $55,000 insurance policy and then arranged for her husband to be buried. So now David was also in the ground, occupying the plot right next to Mike. The twice widowed Stacy did not bother herself with visiting either gravesite because I bet they started tailing her, watching her. So by September 2007, Stacy was still a free woman, and the county sheriff's department was still convinced that she was a double murderer. But it's like, you need evidence, right? It was at this time that they obtained a wiretap on Stacy's phone in the hope that she would say something to incriminate herself. Because we all know people can't keep their fucking yap shut. And 2 years go by, Stacy probably thinks she's gotten away with it. That's what I'm thinking. When that failed to deliver the desired result, though, they got an exhumation order on Mike and subjected his remains to autopsy, and the results were as expected. He had not died of a heart attack. He had died of ethylene glycol poisoning. That's not a coincidence. So on September 7th, 2007, Stacy found herself hauled in for another round of questioning, which I'm sure she was quite surprised at. 4:15. Stacy declared herself willing to cooperate, but she was soon caught in a lie. Oh boy. On the day that David had been found dead, she told the police that she had phoned him numerous times before eventually calling 911, but the phone records said different. Why would you even lie about that? They showed that Stacy had made only one call to her husband, hardly the actions of a concerned wife. So confronted with this discrepancy, Stacy clammed up and refused to answer any more questions until she had spoken to a lawyer. I couldn't be a defense attorney. There's no fucking way. With Stacy now lawyered up and refusing to talk to detectives, the police turned their attention to her older daughter, Ashley. On September 12, 2007, Ashley was approached by investigators as she arrived at Bryant and Stratton College to attend her first day of school. They informed her that her father had not died of a heart attack but had in fact been poisoned. Ashley was quite naturally distressed by this news but informed the detectives that her mother had instructed her not to talk to them. I bet she did. Later that afternoon, the police picked up a telephone conversation between mother and daughter over the wiretap. Ashley is obviously distressed by her conversation with the detectives, and Stacy assures her that it will all be okay and suggests they have a drink together when Ashley gets home. On Friday, September 14th, Bree Wallace heard strange noises coming from her sister Ashley's bedroom. Oh my God, don't even fucking tell me that Stacy poisoned her. Bree went to investigate and found her sister lying across her bed, barely breathing, her tongue lolling out of her mouth. Bree called out to her mother, who came rushing into the room, and unable to revive Ashley, Stacy then dialed 911. When the police and paramedics arrived on the scene soon after, she pointed out to them an empty vodka bottle and a vial of prescription pills. She also handed over a computer-generated suicide note. In it, Ashley stated that she had murdered both her father and stepfather and had taken her own life because she could not deal with the guilt. However, Ashley wasn't dead. Dun dun dun! Right? She was rushed to the hospital, where emergency medical treatment saved her life, and had she arrived just a few minutes later, she would most likely have died. Later, when she was able to speak to investigators, she told them that she had not tried to kill herself, had not typed a suicide note, and had most certainly not killed her father and stepfather. So, according to Ashley, her mother had forced several nasty-tasting drinks on her the night before, and she had drunk them only to keep her mother happy. After that, she blacked out and could remember nothing else. So, dude, you're in so much trouble now, Stacy. You big dummy. As warped as it seemed, it appeared that Stacy had tried to murder her own daughter in an attempt to frame her for the two murders of which she was suspected, and one particular clue stood out for detectives. Here's where the little thing comes into play. In the so-called suicide note, the word antifreeze appeared 4 times, on each occasion incorrectly spelled as anti-free. Remember, this was the same weird pronunciation that Stacy had used frequently during her police interview. So damn, you're caught. So Stacy was taken into custody on September 14th, 2007 and charged with the attempted murder of her daughter. Charges of second-degree murder would follow in the death of her husband, David. And the police, of course, had plenty of evidence to back up these allegations, but Stacy still denied. She continued to deny that she had done anything wrong, and she blamed Ashley still for the murders of David and Michael. She would continue to offer this defense at her trial, with her legal team even calling on experts to testify that Stacy, who was only 11 years old when her own father died, was quite capable of murder. What? Okay, I'm confused. Her legal team called on experts to testify that Stacy was quite capable of murder. Why would her legal team? What? Is that a misprint? Maybe the prosecution called on experts to testify that she was capable. Why would her defense team do that? That's so weird. Okay, so it was a monstrous allegation for any mother. Oh, okay. What? So maybe it's a misprint in the story. Maybe her legal team even called on experts to testify that Ashley was quite capable of murder. Because remember, Ashley was only 11. Yeah, that's a misprint. It should have said Ashley. So Stacy's legal team was calling on experts to testify that Ashley was capable of murder. Yeah. So it was a monstrous allegation for any mother to make of her own child, but then Stacy was no ordinary mother and was every bit a monster. I'm finding my next symbol. Okay. Forensic evidence presented at trial would suggest that she had initially incapacitated David by spiking his drinks with antifreeze. Then, while he lay weakened and unable to defend himself, she forced more of the toxic substance down his throat using the turkey baster, which the police later found in the trash. Her motive in both instances was financial. Money, honey, as it mostly is, right? Mike had been killed for a $55,000 life insurance policy, and David had been murdered so that she could inherit his estate. She had even forged a new will which disinherited David's son, thus ensuring that she would be the sole beneficiary. Wow. Brutal. Stacy was convicted of second-degree murder and second-degree attempted murder in March 2009. She was then sentenced to life in prison with the stipulation that she must serve a minimum of 51 years before she is eligible for parole, And given her age, it is likely she will die behind bars. So Stacy is currently incarcerated at Bedford Hills Correctional Facility for Women in Westchester County, New York. And she still continues to say she's innocent and to insist that her daughter Ashley is the real killer. Can you imagine your mother saying that you killed 2 people when you didn't do it? You know Stacy fucking did it. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So, wow. Yeah. Okay. I will definitely finish this when I'm done this video for sure. But we always end on a positive affirmation from A Year of Positive Thinking by Cindy Spiegel. And today is Friday, July 30th. So this one's a little longer than the ones we've been reading. It is called Worrying Doesn't Change Anything. Before I even read it, absolutely, that could be the affirmation. Worrying about something is not going to change it happening, or it's not. I know it's hard to not worry, but... So it is human nature to worry about what you care deeply for, but worrying alone does not change anything. All you get in return is sleepless nights, scattered thoughts, and a whole lot of heartbreak. Think about how you can better channel your concerns. What actions can you take to support what you are worried about? Who can help you carry the weight of whatever is keeping you awake at night? Talk to somebody. People have some great insight. It always helps to talk. You cannot change what you have no control over, but you'll feel a lot more powerful if you take direct action around what you are able to shift. Remember, action creates transformation, but worrying simply creates more anguish. Absolutely. And the next affirmation I'm going to read is we're going to be in August, people. We are going to be in August. Ay, 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 ay. So I hope you guys all have a fantastic Friday. I will probably not be back with the true crime until Monday. I'll have my cross-stitch vlog out tomorrow, but then I'll probably take Sunday off from recording. So have a great weekend. As always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.